snippet of good news about water now, starting, albeit from a low base. About 10 days ago, we heard from Charlotte Sawyer, who's a member of the Conham bathing group in Conham River Park in Bristol. She told us they frequently see poor water quality, sewage in the water as well. But in an effort to regain bathing status, the swimming group has been collecting samples, getting them tested at the lab of the local water company. She told us last week she was going to drive a sample to the water lab for testing herself.
It's the lack of understanding, the lack of checks, the lack of testing, lack of investment nationally that frustrates us, which is why we focused locally in our campaign for designated bathing water status. And then bureaucracy has really got in the way. So we do the testing ourselves. We're going to do the first test of the swimming season on Friday. I'm going to drive the sample to Wessex Water, doing the Environment Agency, the government, and Wessex Jobs for them, all because it's not being done and there's not that sense of urgency that we feel.
Well, how did it go? She went for the first official swim of the season, did Charlotte and her friends, to see if the water was clean enough to go into. She sent us this update alongside fellow Conham bathers Eva and Em.
So it's a beautiful morning down on the River Avon. The sun is shining. We can hear the birds singing their morning songs. We've got a swimmer kind of just in view, out solo, taking in the nice views which you get either side of the river, kind of surrounded by the forest. So it's really picturesque. It feels like a nice morning. The water looks, it's hard to tell how polluted the water is by looking at it, but it's very calm. There's no kind of like smell or indicator of any bad pollution incident recently. So we'll see what the sample says.
Yeah, although there is a wet wipe stuck in a tree over there, which is...
and a bike, actually.
And a bike. So, before we test, how about we say, this is the second test of the swimming season of the year?
Yep. And the results from last week weren't looking too good. Certainly not the best we've ever had, but also nowhere near the worst. I think we had, over 800 CFU per 100 ml of water, which of E. coli, which isn't perfect. It would probably be somewhere between a sufficient and poor classification, but it would be considered over the safe limit for bathers.
All right, let's go do a test.
Looks like there's a few sort of suspended bits in there. Looks fairly clear, doesn't it?
Yeah, less turbid than last week.
Again, not that you can really tell, but I think from a relative perspective, comparing samples week on week when you're used to seeing the river and, you start associating specific samples with, or the specific results with how the river looks on that day, and it does kind of give you a bit of an idea. That's kind of why that local knowledge is important, I guess.
All right, well, we're going to go for a swim now. I'm so looking forward to it. Oh, lovely.
It's cold.
Eva always takes ages to get in.
I'm such a baby.
I swam through my first winter and Eva's only just turning up in May.
I'm a slacker.
It's okay. No judgment here at the river.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.